Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Thursday, one and all. It is indeed November 14th, 2024, and I hope you are doing fantastic this evening. Well, it's this evening for me at this time. But whenever you hear this, I hope that you're doing well. Let's see what is in the cards on today. Oh, that was wild. I just had found myself right before I pushed record, randomly singing a Godspell medley. Godspell is a musical, and I performed in it in high school. And every now and again, the songs pop up because I actually had two solos in the musical. One, if you're familiar with the play. If you're not, then, maybe I'll post it below because perhaps this matters. But one song was Day by Day, which is kind of a popular song outside of the play. I knew the song, I think, before I was familiar with the song before I knew where it came from. And then the other song was Turn Back Old Man, which I was not familiar with. I wasn't even familiar with the play at all before I did it. And I only did it because all my friends were trying out for it. And it was a musical, which was more in my wheelhouse than just like, a drama. And yeah, anyway, I found myself like caught in a sing-along with myself earlier. So whatever that means, I don't know. But it wasn't even the songs that I sang. It was the opening song that I was singing, which I rarely do. But the song Day by Day goes, day by day, day by day. Oh, dear Lord, three things I pray: to see thee more clearly, love thee more dearly, follow thee more nearly, day by day. And then it speeds up or whatever. So anyway, I don't know what that has to do with the message today, but it usually always does in some way, shape, or form. And like I said, I'll probably post the clip or two below if you care to check it out and on the community tab. But let's see what we got today. Wow. 10 of Pentacles, starting out with big money. Real big money right here. This is legacy, generational wealth, could be an inheritance, could be a trust fund or a trust payout, an insurance payout, or I don't even know why I said those last two things. I don't think I've ever said that in connection to this card, so that could be significant and specific. But yeah, there's definitely some wealth and abundance here that is familially connected, I would say. Whether it's blood, more than likely it usually is blood family or blood relatives that is associated with this card. The 10 of Cups doesn't necessarily have to be, but the 10 of Pentacles usually definitely is, even though if it were me, I would flip-flop that around because the cup seems more fluid to signify blood relation than the Pentacles, but so say it is in the tarot, So we got the Ten of Pentacles, and then we have some ending here, the end of struggle, perhaps. Yeah, and then a new beginning. So yeah, it could be definitely some type of payout coming through or on the horizon. Some sort of change in financial status. Yeah, definitely hella struggle over here. The Nine of Wands to the Ten of Wands. That struggle if I ever seen it, but definitely the completion of upheaval and the end of it. Then we got the Ten of Pentacles, this Page of Pentacles, which could definitely be a message, or it could be a small investment. So whatever it is that's yielded from this Ten of Pentacles could definitely either serve to be an investment for the future or for the long run, or it could be the seed of an investment into the future. And then we got the Magician. And I would say a bold investment here. That's what this is given with the Knight of Wands. This feels like the energy with them kind of meeting each other. It feels like someone could make an investment that seems, how can I say this? Like, it seems small or low risk maybe, or not. It's something here about these two that I want to get out, because the Page of Pentacles has almost like an innocence about it, or maybe it could be receiving a tip or some type of financial advice to make a bold investment, or an investment that may actually in some cases be risky, but it ultimately ends up multiplying the harvest here. That's what I'm picking up. So it could even be like making an investment as someone that's not really that well versed in financial, that's not all too financially literate or advanced in this case, at least in as far as investments are concerned. Like you kind of just taking a shot in the dark, or you can invest digitally now and buy stocks and things like that, which is kind of nerve-wracking, as I'm saying, like if you don't really know what you're doing, it can be a bit overwhelming. But in this case, it could be someone that kind of just instinctively follows their nose, and lo and behold, it ends up yielding a high return. Yeah, and perhaps the risk itself may not even necessarily be whatever the investment is, or whatever stock is purchased or whatever. It just may be the sheer risk of doing something that's new to someone, or that someone isn't necessarily very experienced at. But it definitely is an emphasis on money management and a good emphasis, I would say, on money management, and also magnifying, like growing or multiplying. I would say if you have, if you, you know, if you may jump out the window and kind of, take a chance and a risk that leads to a positive outcome. But I would say beyond that, maybe even before that, if you're hearing this message and you can relate, it probably would be wise to get some counseling or some type of, you know, education, you know, before you just start playing around with your finances like Monopoly money. But it definitely does say that if you do, or if you have taken a bit of a risk, maybe getting your feet wet to kind of see what happens, it's probably going to be a positive result. It probably is. And it may be the first step onto the path of gaining some more, refined, I would say, knowledge of finances, or at least your financial affairs, in a way that ultimately will have you making money work for you. And we all want that now, don't we? Yeah, so I guess don't be afraid to take the risk where you feel your instincts are leading you, but also don't be afraid to get some help. Okay. All right, so let's see what else we got. Interesting way to start. And of course, Pentacles can also be an investment in energy or time or attention. So it all applies. It could even be, having some extra time on your hands because you are somehow more financially stable to explore. Yeah, maybe even travel with the Knight of Wands. Definitely, it could be that. And that could even, and I'm feeling guided to say, same even with the idea around making an investment that you wouldn't necessarily, or maybe it's not so much that you don't have the information or education, but in this case it could be, in another case it could be not really having that experience, or not being something that you're used to be able to just get up and go, get up and take a vacation, or get up and do something fun. Like usually there's a bit more restraint, maybe restraint, but also constraints around your liberty to move around, and so that's probably something too. And in the same vein, definitely allow yourself to explore and enjoy your, in this case, perhaps new financial freedom. However, also be wise and responsible, because the Knight of Wands is really, and the Page of Pentacles is like a child, and the Knight of Wands can be a bit impulsive. So although you definitely want to have, allow yourself to enjoy your life experience, definitely keep in mind the bigger picture, that if you do catch a break or a windfall in such a way, just as much as it's ideal to celebrate or enjoy that privilege, it's also wise to plan for the future and plan ahead, and consider again how you can make money work for you while you're enjoying your time. You know what I mean? Or the best way to multiply that bank so that it becomes less and less of a deep consideration to enjoy yourself, casually, maybe even whimsically in some ways and shapes and forms. So it's like really a strong balance here, I mean, a strong, like a balancing act, because for some, you may be used to coming from a place where you didn't have the liberty to really enjoy yourself much. So how that could translate to constrain even when you have the liberty is penny pinching, and spending as if like you're going to be broke tomorrow, you know what I mean? And that doesn't really manifest wealth, like they say, you got to spend money to make money. And energetically, it works the same. Like if you were, say, to win the lottery, right? But you could still live like a pauper, you know what I mean? Or like live like you're still struggling. But then you might find that you could blow through the money, or at least not have as high quality of a life experience as this transfer of wealth is supposed to afford you to some degree, because of the mindset and the energy that you're investing in your circumstance, or your situation. Other side of the coin is you could just get crazy because you've never had so much money before and end up buying a whole bunch of stuff that you don't really need or want, or spending and going and doing because you have the liberty to do so, and you haven't always, and you could blow it on consuming more than creating with the magician here, and that could depreciate the value of that account, or your wealth, your net worth or wealth, or whatever the case may be. So it's like you kind of got to find a place in the middle, you know what I mean, to enjoy yourself, but still be mindful of your expenditures and your expenses, and still plan for the future, and still have the mindset to grow wealth, but not to have a poverty mindset where you're afraid to be broke, or afraid to spend, or afraid to take a risk or make an investment, even if that investment is in yourself. Because there's some relevance to investing in your own in your own personal enjoyment, which does add value to your magneticism to attract more and create and to create more. So it's just, like balance is key. And I'm probably preaching to the choir, but I felt like I needed to say that. Whether it's money, whether it's attention, whether it's time, it seems like you may be about to get a lot more of perhaps all of the above. So just invest wisely. We got another knight here. The Knight of Swords. What's he after? I'm gonna get one on the other side. Can I just get one? Oh, it's in reverse. Oh. Out of imprisonment, spiritual imprisonment, out of bondage, being released. What's on the bottom? The Knight of Cups. All these damn knights. What the hell? I'm curious about this. Not gonna lie, because the Knight of Swords is going toward the Eight of Swords in reverse. The Eight of Swords reverse is definitely an expression of liberation, for sure. Like whether it's a mental freedom or an actual freedom, maybe somebody even being released from captivity, maybe being released from jail. You know, literally between the 9 of Wands up top and the 8 of Swords in reverse. But the Knight of Swords, though, what is he rushing into? Maybe to release something or someone? Maybe release themselves? There's some type of furious advancement here, fast and furious advancement with the Knight of Swords. Let me see. Let me get one more, because this feels weird. Oh, that's too many. But that was another Knight. That was the Knight of Pentacles. Let me just get one more. The Knight of Pentacles on top. Whoa. And here's the police. Somebody trying to escape from prison? Or is somebody on the run? What the heck? Child. This could be somebody either in some type, it could even be a police chase. But the thing is, the 8 of Swords is in reverse. So I really do feel like it's two different energies. That's why I'm getting so much clarification between the 8 of Swords and the Knight of Swords. I feel like somebody's like rushing into, I just heard trading places. Oh snap, maybe somebody's getting out of jail and somebody going in. Because I was just about to say, it's like somebody's rushing in to either try to capture someone, to kind of like catch somebody up is what I'm hearing. I don't know how to say it. It's like somebody's definitely free and released from something and free in their own right. And it's like this Knight of Swords feels like aggressively wanting to either incarcerate someone again or to somehow object someone's freedom. That's what it feels like, an objection or a resistance to somebody else's freedom. And it's not looking like that's going to fare too well. But why? What's on the bottom? Did I already see the bottom? 7 of Pentacles, because of some investment that they have. Here we go with investments. Some invested interest that someone may have to keep someone else bound. To keep someone else disempowered, because that's what that is in the upright. To keep someone else disempowered, maybe codependent, or dependent, period. Definitely not secure, self-sufficient. And what else? But it's like the Chariot card here is that it feels like yet a third party that is surveilling this situation. like a cop or a detective or some type of authority figure in authority, particularly by way of law enforcement or public safety or something like that. Like somebody's watching. And that's probably the gotcha because somebody's moving so fast to oppose something or to object to something that they're leaving themselves vulnerable to exposure, to be caught in the act of whatever this advancement is. Or it could even literally, sometimes I see that card as aggravated assault. But one thing's for sure, whatever they do impulsively now is absolutely going to land them in hot water. So it wouldn't be wise, no matter what. Or it already has, and maybe that's the reason for this 9 of Wands and 10 of Wands up top here. And that's the reflection here that somebody is having now, maybe wishing they hadn't taken certain steps, or wishing that they would have thought, more, maybe not been so impulsive as I was saying up here, and maybe taking a minute to consider the long-term consequences. It's like somebody's not taking the moment to think that they might actually end up incriminating themselves and getting, I don't know. I don't even know how I got there. Well, let's keep going. Shoot, it could be a warning for those, like I said, that are coming up into new money or looking like new money. Be mindful of your comings and goings, and your expressions of wealth. You know what I mean? Posting on social media, or going to risky places and spaces with expensive items, or looking like $1 million. You just got to be aware of your surroundings. That could even be that, generally speaking, because look, he's looking real vexed right here. This 9 of Wands. Yeah, because people are struggling. That's why. So it's like, okay. So there it is about being impulsive and like almost being a little bit naive and even showy here with the Knight of Wands, like a bit flamboyant perhaps. There it is again about this balance, because it's like you have the right to enjoy whatever it is that you have earned, been gifted, been awarded, worked for. Whatever it is that you should have the right to fully enjoy it. But be wise, because everybody's not experiencing the same level of fortune and fate, fortune and favor, I should say, that you may be already experiencing or coming into. And you're not invisible. It's like people are just kind of sitting and watching for an opportunity to make their move. And like I said, there's other energies watching them, whether it be in spirit or in truth, but it still is up to you to protect yourself, and be proactive about taking the proper security measures when, like you're a walking bag, apparently. like just simply put, you know what I'm saying? And that's weird, because I was like, what? Where'd this come from? And that's exactly what I mean. Like, you'll be just off, buying up the mall or doing whatever it is that you do with your money and time, and won't even realize somebody is trailing you or watching your every move, or like, just keep your head on a swivel. And with the Knight of Wands, it says that you will, because the Knight of Wands is a fearless warrior. Maybe that's why all these knights were coming up. And the Knight of Pentacles, now I see, even though there was some cards stacked under it, it's definitely the responsibility piece there, like a bit more, being more grounded with your finances or with your material possessions. I'm glad to have seen that pop out, which indicates that there is some temperance there with, perhaps this newfound wealth or status. Yet there is an equal energy around, out and about, that, well, I'll say an equal and opposite energy. I don't even know if it's all that equal, but maybe just an obstinate period energy that is definitely on the prowl, and not to fearmonger or anything like that, but just generally speaking, where people are in the spirit of, some people are in the spirit of poverty and scarcity and desperation, and they don't really have much to lose. So just really consider if it's worth it doing what you do, if it's necessary, if it's safe, if it's secure, the time of day you're out, who you're out with, it's everything matters now. Right now it does, unfortunately. Everything matters. Let's see what else we got now that I got that out. Well, that was the High Priestess. That's definitely being tapped into your intuition, what you're feeling and sensing. Because it might not always be evident in what you can see. Like I said, like, you may not even see the ops, but you may have had a nudge in your spirit that said, don't go that way, or put your, I don't know, like a whole bunch of stuff. Tuck your purse under your arm, or I don't know, like wrap your, I don't know, like I don't even want to say stuff because I don't want, but it could be, you could get cues and signals regarding all types of things that are pretty much letting you know, like, how to stay safe. Don't ignore it. Yeah, because this is even moving forward to peaceful and calmer waters, like escaping danger, staying out of harm's way, and being vigilant about your transportation, or just generally your comings and goings. All right, that's in the upright. Yep, well, that's a confirmation. Yeah, and this is giving protection. It's also giving divine protection too, that's already accounted for, especially when you're just moving in integrity. You're not doing anything unrighteous. You're just enjoying yourself, enjoying your time. Which again, you should have the right to do without interference or intrusion. But it also is like ramping up your intel or your security, like your proactive security measures again, to stay tapped into what is the best way to carry on, even through that enjoyment. And I like that it's even more of an advancement here from the Knight of Wands to the Ace, because it's the same like duality here, where it's like you're a little bit maybe a bit vulnerable, or what's the right word? Not vulnerable. Maybe exposed, I suppose. but the Ace of Wands, perhaps even a little bit, I hate to say reckless, because I'm not getting a negative energy from the Knight of Wands where he's just, you know, doing anything and not with no regard, for his surroundings or for whatever impact or impression he may make. But it's just a certain type of a subtle naivete here, that, as I said, should be allowed when you're just minding your own business. However, it's like still enjoy life, but stay tapped in. Stay tapped in. Yeah, the Hangman, because you don't want to end up being somebody's victim or somebody's sacrifice. But this is also like enlightenment as well, and maybe even being more intentional to, where you might just get up and go, you know what I mean, at a moment's notice or whenever you feel like it. Here with the Knight of Wands, it's like here, maybe take a moment to consider again where you're headed, how you're getting there, like kind of have a plan, you know what I mean? And then also even consult some spiritual influence from the inside out with the High Priestess energy, and then here with the Ace of Wands, like really tapping in to gain some like how can I say it, like some like source source higher power. I know this sounds so crazy, like I just want to go to the mall, but even for that, consider, like, is this a busy time of day? What am I going to buy? Like having a plan almost. If you about to go make hella purchases, then kind of considering, okay, what is going to be my plan of action? Because, like, for instance, you go to the mall and you plan on making a lot of purchases. It's almost holiday time, so it's not unusual. And consider you walking around the mall with hella bags in your hands, and eventually you're going to have to make your way to your car, and perps know that, so like I said, you don't know who's watching. Maybe buy a couple things, transport it back to the car, make sure the car is locked up real good, you know what I mean? Or have a plan of action of what is necessary to actually purchase when you're going to the mall, as opposed to what maybe you can have delivered and save yourself the trouble, you know what I mean? And it's like you wouldn't think you would need to think that hard and that deep, but I think particularly this holiday season where there's such a disparity in folks' well-being and peace of mind, and then we still have the heightened emotions from election season that you wouldn't think would make such an impact, but they do, and people are just kind of moving a little strange, depending on where you are, and particularly some of the hot spots to catch a lick would be, in centralized places like a mall or like a department store or a Target or a Walmart, or, places where people may be likely to make a large purchase and eventually have to go to their cars, and which is the Chariot as well. Like it's a car that indicates some type of transportation. So, just even if it's just you going to Target for a couple of things, consider the time of day and how long and which Target, what neighborhood is it in, and all of that stuff. Just be careful out here. Because let me tell you, if it's up to me, you can have whatever the material is. I ain't fighting for nothing that's fleeting, but people sometimes, these days you hear people just busting shots for no reason. Like you could have had the stuff, you know what I mean? Like you had the stuff. Did you have to shoot, you know? So you just don't know what's going on in people's minds right now. All right, but we still got angelic presence, which says, fear not. So again, this is not about fear. This is about being alert and being prepared, and being clear of the time at hand. And although like your personal reality, like I said, like almost being in your own little world, doesn't necessarily project that, we do share the space, you know, and being mindful that other people's realities are looking quite different than what you may be experiencing. But again, this is the Temperance card, so this is also about being responsible and self-controlled and balanced, and you know, not doing too much, not doing too little. It's about really perfect, like literally, and also with it being a Temperance, about again tapping into that higher realm of intel, your own intuition, your angels, ancestors, and guides. Hell, it don't hurt to say a little prayer before you step out into the world these days. It really, really doesn't, you know. So there it is. But for the most part, it still is saying that there is covering and protection. You know what I mean? Just spiritually justified and dispensed. So even though people may be on the prowl and up to no good, there still is protection for the righteous, you know. Hell, even protection for the unrighteous as well, whether they realize it or not. Sometimes they get protected from themselves not being able to inflict harm on certain individuals that would ultimately be a horrible backfire, whether they realize it or not. But, you know, for those that are operating in this frequency, it's definitely important to affirm that you are covered and protected and secure, you know, wherever you go. We got the Two of Wands here. Surveying the land, plotting their next move. This is definitely a lot about, like, it really, really is. Like, I almost feel a bit foolish to keep saying this over and over again, not gonna lie. But it's definitely about, like, kind of having a plan of action and executing it. But again, he's facing inward to the Ace of Wands. So this is not just about jumping up and going or doing whatever, you know, following every impulse. Instinct, yes, certainly we tapped into that, but that even better be ascended at this time, you know, like that's what needs to be cultivated. Yeah, look, Ace of Cups. Damn, it's like, yeah. Because you want to keep the flow flowing, you know? You don't want to stop that flow on account of an erratic or impulsive decision or unwise or poorly thought out plan. And again, back to even the investment piece. I know I kind of veered into like shopping at the mall all of a sudden, but even with the investment, you know, aspect of it all, how you're managing your time, your money, your passion, you know, you could have a lot more at hand to do more, but you want to be checked in to these higher frequencies to stay in alignment with what would be most productive to do with yourself ultimately. You know, this is somebody that has a plan and that is sticking to it, you know, that is executing it, and for high purposes, or to be highly effective and efficient, not flying off the seat of their pants, you know, and focused as well. Purposeful, in a word. Even like, yeah, so it literally ranges from, we talking about buying stocks and bonds, we talking about investing in a new company, if we're talking about investing in yourself, if we're talking about shopping, you know, going on a shopping spree, it's like, what is the purpose? Even if it's just to enjoy myself, okay, but it still needs to be grounded in something that is purposeful. That's the integrity of it. Yeah, like here, and here's the Tower. That's where the integrity is upheld, you know, because imagine you have an impulse to just go, I don't know. Let me not, because what's purposeful to me may not be so for you, and vice versa. So you want to keep Tower moments at a minimum. You don't want to have too many moments where the universe and the divine has to kind of intervene on your behalf to, you know, clear the board or make space for a new foundation, simply on account of, you know, falling out of alignment or not listening to your instincts when, you know, or your intuition when it was loud and clear, the signs, the signals, synchronicities, you know. That's what it's really giving me, like somebody having a plan, being in alignment, being focused. His back is to the Tower here, you know. On this side, I'm gonna see what other card comes up, but you know, say he decides to get distracted doing something else that really doesn't have a purpose or a meaning, or, you know, that he doesn't even really want to do, or that he felt in his spirit that he probably shouldn't do at this time, and you do it anyway. That's when you can hit a Tower moment. That's when you could find yourself being a victim, or being find yourself in a sticky situation that, when you think about it, could have been avoided, or entangled in some type of financial woes that you had the wisdom to avoid, you know, or had the information or education to avoid, if you had kind of taken the time to ingest it or whatever, you know. So all of that, but let's see what else is with the Tower in the Temperance. Full card, there it is. Like, yeah, you know, kind of like do. The total opposite of this focused energy here, Two of Wands. In this case, because we know the Full card is actually a very positive card. And it also could be, because again, he is moving this away, which is good. This could even be, again, avoiding those traumatic moments that occur when we're not paying attention, and when we're not in alignment, and when we are flying off the seat of our pants, or doing things that don't have purpose or meaning. Because I really want to give the Fool card a bit more credit, that he may be following his instincts and walking by faith, but he does walk himself into a Two of Wands and the Temperance and the Ace of Wands. Like, it's really pretty good energy over here, that he's moving away from the Tower, but it seems like just barely, so I feel like it's just doubling down on a word to the wise to stay focused and keep your eye on the prize, because it's Tower moments ever, like it's like a minefield out there, you know what I mean? Like, it's opportunities to get caught up and tangled and mangled just about everywhere you go if you're not paying attention. Anybody can become a victim, unfortunately, but for those that are on the straight and narrow and, quite focused on that path, there's hella protection. Always has been, always will be, even though, it may have seemed different in some ways and shapes and forms. Like, if you thought it was strange before, it's definitely about to get weird when you see things blowing up all around you, but you're not being touched. That's the type of energy we are about to experience in a certain way. Like, Lord, not literally, but, where people are having their own personal crises, and somehow this is you in the midst of it all, living life like it's golden. That very much so is a possibility, no matter where you live and where you are, honestly. So you still have to govern yourself accordingly. Like, you wouldn't just go running through a minefield like you're in a meadow of daffodils, now would you? Not particularly. Maybe you would. Maybe your faith is that strong. But then again, I would say no, you wouldn't with the Seven of Wands. Yeah, you would take some precautionary measures. You would protect yourself from these explosions. And this could even be, creating boundaries and establishing a fort around your faith, you know what I mean? Or even in faith, where there's just certain things that you won't even allow to cross the threshold of connection with you, proactively, before it even has an opportunity to make an impact that wouldn't be favorable. That could be people, that could be staying away from certain places, that could be abstaining from certain habits. It could be a lot of different things, but certainly those big three for sure, especially when we're talking about wands, that's activity. So it literally could be watching what you do, watching the things that you do, watching your intentions and your ambitions, and having a very, establishing a standard of integrity for yourself is what is most protective here with the Seven of Wands. It really doesn't have it's no shade to anyone or anything else. It doesn't really even have anything to do with anyone or anything or anywhere else. It's about taking responsibility to protect the value of the legacy, the value of the legacy that you're leading. There's something very fortunate that you're already connected to, that you've been entrusted to manage and to multiply. And you can't do that if you're not in the best shape or if you're not well, so it matters that you care for yourself like a precious commodity, even more so than the things or the fortune itself, whatever this is. Let's see what else. Look at this. 5 of Swords. People out here with nothing to lose and everything to gain, that want to win at all costs, no matter what the casualty. Ooh, yikes. Oh no. Child. Y'all be careful out here. Do as much of your Christmas shopping online as you can, okay? And hell, have it sent to a third-party pickup spot, too, if you can, because people be tripping as porch pirates, too. I seen some crazy stuff on Doorbell News on YouTube, like the audacity of people that literally just walk up to your house and take your package like they ordered it to their house. Yeah, 4 of Cups, because people are checked out, man. Some people are really checked out of this reality right now. They don't have anything to lose and they feel like they're losing. So I don't like that. I don't like that energy at all. That's not very comforting. But one thing about it is that although again, like I said, it's people out there just looking for a lick or looking for an opportunity to come up, but the 7 of Swords always gets caught up. Like I said, just like here, where they think they're on their way to do something grimy, they're ultimately going to end up being arrested. Like, just plain and simple, like arrested, or putting themselves in harm's way, with the intention to do something grimy. Usually in this climate, it can backfire immediately, and you find yourself literally physically getting hurt, crashing out in some type of way. And not to mention, this energy it always gets caught at some point in time, and it ends up defeating itself just by the sheer intention to do harm or to be deceptive or mischievous or whatever the intention is. It's not good, so it's not going to end well. The Fool card is almost like not even, it's like none the wiser, which in some ways it's, again, here's that balancing act, because it's like you kind of partially have to go on in your reality as if there is no threat, but at the same time you have to protect yourself as if there could be, like believing that you're so protected that nothing that has the intention to harm you actually will, but also co-creatively help the universe help you by putting yourself in positions that support that security, or not putting yourself in positions that work against it, either way. So it's a tough thing out here, but I really, as much as like I'm not afraid about this at all, but to say, but the fact that I've been feeling it throughout this entire message and almost like wanting to stop making it a thing, and then it becomes so blatantly a thing at the 5 of Swords and the 7 of Swords, like these are 2 of the worst energies in the deck, honestly. Besides like the Devil card, which doesn't always have to be evil. It can be many different things, but these 2 cards, there's really not a lot that you can say positively about it, especially in the way that I've been speaking, and also as a connection to the Tower card here. These are people just looking for an opportunity to bring someone else misfortune. So just so we're all aware and on the same page, there is plenty of that out here in these streets. Even as you are protected from it, still be mindful. And I feel like just like Black Friday sales are starting earlier than ever, every year it seems, the anti-holiday energy is ramping up earlier than ever. Yeah, here's the, the mystique and the illusion of it all. Whereas you may, first of all, you may not see it coming if you're not vigilant, but also these energies don't see their demise coming because they're too focused, on one track things. So let's get one more and then I'm closing it out. Whoop, and then this mother came out anyway. I started this message off saying that I found myself in a Godspell sing-along. Just stay in your own Godspell, whatever that looks like. Prayer, meditation, affirmation, intentions, positive thoughts, purposefulness. You don't want to get caught slipping right now. Integrity, honesty, intuition, all senses, all divine senses need to be online right now. Because this energy really can't catch you unless you are slipping. Again, unless you're doing something that you are going against the will of yourself to do. The sensibility of your most supreme senses to do. So again, whether it's people, places, activities, habits, even thoughts, any of that, if you can't be certain about its productivity and its purpose, and again, focused, again, like everything having a place, a purpose, a reason, a plan for the most part, some projection of an outcome, a positive outcome, a prosperous outcome, it's not worth it. It's not worth the risk. If it can't be justified, it's not worth it. I'm just going to go ahead and say that straight up right now. And I don't know how long this kind of like alert holds weight. Maybe just through the holiday season, perhaps maybe a little bit longer. I don't know. Maybe forever, as far as we're concerned in this lifetime. For as long as it feels necessary, though. And there will be signs and signals, again, internally, intuitively, sensationally, that will alert you. Do not ignore them. And I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to anyone that can hear me. Holla if you do, because this is I will go on record to say that this over here is disturbing. Because it's given zombie between the Five of Swords, the Seven of Swords, the Devil, and the Seven of Cups. It's like people are not even operating in their right mind. Those that are on this frequency. I'm not saying everybody, of course, but that's what is given. Now they're going to crash out, headed right for the tower for sure. But you don't want to be a casualty in their path because you sacrificed yourself ultimately. But this is definitely given like some zombie-like energy that people are not, those that are not in control of their vessel right now, perhaps more mentally and emotionally than anything, are just liable to act out in ways that can't really be accounted for, or you can't even really prepare a defense for, once you're already kind of engaged in the entanglement. So it's best to just keep yourself out as much as you possibly can. Keep yourself out of harm's way. I don't like it. No child. Yeah, because we got rich bitch alert on the board with the Queen of Pentacles. High value, high profile energy here. And whether we talking about literally in materials or in again in energy and in character and what else, influence, what was the other word I just had? Oh, talent, gifts, all of that is here. It's just somebody that just shines like new money, pretty much. So just know what you're working with out there. Like you could be walking around in freaking sweats and a t-shirt and you still smell like new money to some of these energies out here that are really on the prowl. Like you can't help it anymore. You can't help the pheromones of favor and fortune that you may give off. It's just, there's no way to really like hide that scent anymore, unfortunately and fortunately, because you shouldn't need to. Obviously, again, you should have the right to excrete excellence everywhere you go, but just be mindful. Just be mindful. Certainly, for sure, yeah. And then we got the Three of Wands. With these great expectations, or even, I'm gonna put it this way, like people that see you coming before you even realize. You have spectators sitting waiting for an opportunity for a lick to come its way, or going to the places where they can find one. You know what I mean? But of course, to end on the highest vibration, this still is connected to the beginning of the message where I said there's something amazing coming in. if it's not already in your possession or in your presence. It's definitely something to look forward to, and that you should be excited to receive and possess and feel empowered to manage properly, whether it's a promotion or an upgrade in your, in your personal influence, in your finances, whatever it is, it's definitely a gift and an honor. So beyond all that I said that could be disheartening or even alarming, you have something amazing. You are something amazing to be looked forward to. There's great things that are evolving for you, that, favor that is becoming quite tangible, and honestly, like almost too much to manage, where you're going to have to begin to call in support or be more strategic. Maybe get yourself a financial coach or an advisor, or start to, YouTube university it up about investments and how to make money work for you and so on and so forth, or to even protect your money or protect your assets. Like all of that stuff is ideal now, just bringing it back to the very beginning. There's all this middle energy here that is what it is. But when it comes back to one, which is managing you and your fortune, you really have a lot to focus on. You have plenty on your hands to manage and to take into account. So with that being said, as I'm saying, like, don't be afraid to call in help or assistance or support. Even be mindful about who you choose to do that. Everybody with credentials is not trustworthy, whether they be an accountant, a financial officer or advisor, a banker, an investor. Just keep those spidey senses tingling and on high alert, so that even with the most noble intentions, if it matters to be extra careful and extra secure, well, it does matter to be extra careful and extra secure, even when it almost feels like you're doing too much. But you got too much at stake and too much to gain, even still, not to be a little bit overprotective. Maybe a lot of it in this case. I don't know, depending on where you are right now. If you're like me, overprotection is probably safe. Especially if you are used to really having to manage much. It's like if you used to not having such an overflow of abundance, then you ain't really too pressed about, not really. Everybody wants to protect their money, but it's like, if it ain't much there to get, then you ain't really too stressed, but I'm talking to some people that have a lot to secure, a lot to protect. So, I definitely send prayers of protection and covering over you, over your legacy, your children, your partnerships, your businesses, your homes, everything that is attached to you, every place that you step into or connect yourself with. I pray that there is protection, and I pray that there is high alert, without paranoia and without fear, that is maintained to stabilize that high level of security for you, so that you can enjoy what you ultimately deserve to enjoy, and you do. So I'm gonna leave that there. um, yeah. And until next time, as always, I leave you with, oh, thank you for listening and watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.